Joe.
Joe, I don't know if he's out there. He usually joins later.
Joe
So,
out there.
yeah, hey, how are you? This is session something or other. Session 11, I think, right? Of the
Oh
campaign
yeah.
formerly known as Assault on Faith, now known as the Goblodyssey. Who the heck remembers what happened last session?
So fade in a beach, lapping waves, lapping driftwood. No, so we all wake up on a beach, and most of us wake up to somebody tugging at us and pulling on some of our gear. And we look up, and there's these small wolf fae, which some of us as players know are pugwumpy. So hilarity ensues. Cue the Benny Hill music as we all roll twice, and one of the rolls is invariably good, and one of the rolls is invariably bad. Um, so basically, we fight pugwumpies. We do fairly well, except for I think Frankko was getting pretty beat up. Got surrounded by three and was getting pretty beat up. Even gets into a flank with him, and he and even proceed to cut the head off the head gremlin. And once the head gremlin's dead, they all sort of run off. Even notices as they're looting the bodies that the dead gremlin has Oryx axe, and even starts doing a hunting whistle into the air, hoping for an answer, and nobody answers. We forage at the beach a little bit, even pulls out a ton of crab meat, and we realize that we're kind of short on water, so we need to go inland. Squirrel leads us inland. Even is doing a terrible job helping him and pointing out all the wrong things, but does realize that there's like more food here than we will ever need. That there's just tons of animal life and plant life and plenty to eat. Um, Squirrel does a great job, leads us to water. We fuel up on water. We notice a stag. We decide not to mess with the stag. On the way to the water, Squirrel in front gets eaten by a giant fly trap. Again, hilarity ensues, and most of Squirrel's combat takes place inside the gullet of a giant plant. We all sort of gang pile the plant and beat him up and get Squirrel out. And that was that. We get to the watering hole, we water up, we are hiding out in the forest afterward and trying to make a camp. And Squirrel meets the most Greek looking woman I've ever seen, and she's riding a lion. So she sees him immediately. She doesn't see Puck, but she does see him immediately. She doesn't see. Was G Pain with him?
It was Frankko,
Or
I think.
Frankko. Frankko. She
Yeah.
doesn't see Frankko. She sees Squirrel. She talks to Squirrel for a minute. Squirrel realizes he's no threat at all to her. She doesn't even acknowledge him as a threat. She invites him and his companions to her villa, and she gathers a bunch of water and some jugs and then leaves. And that's sort of where we left off. Did I miss anything?
I think that was the high notes. Anybody have anything to remember about their characters or anything important to them? Oh, all right. Well, Kirkee has left. She came here. She filled up her water jugs, and as Naz was saying, basically she had like this leather thing strapped to the back of the graying lion she rode in on, and she filled up 2 or 3 jugs and put them on the back of the lion, and then mounted back up and left. And the whole time she was talking to you, she was basically just going about her business. Didn't seem to care all that much that there were one or more goblins up in the trees and coming up to talk to her. And then she went and left, and she invited you back to her villa. But I'm not sure if you guys are going to take her up on the offer because you were planning to sleep through most of the afternoon and night. So she has left, and you were going to decide what to do. And I think G-Pain slept through the whole thing.
Yep.
All right.
We'll go with recovering from the shipwreck. Right?
Correct. Yeah, you're all
It
hilariously
was so
exhausted. Correct.
difficult. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I forgot who it was. It was either Puck or whoever wasn't on watch. One of you woke up, and G Pain did not. So I assume everybody but G Pain is awake now, and she left. So you were free to do what you would do.
I did not wake up, eh? I'm like a lazy piece of shit.
Yeah, I
Pardon
think
my
whoever
language.
woke up decided not to wake you up. Just let you sleep until they
Wasn't I
realized
sleeping with Frankko or something?
It's
someone was with you, but they woke up. You both rolled perception, and you failed.
It was-
and
It was Puck who was sleeping.
Fuck, wake me up.
I was very busy
I think Squirrel told them not to bother until they figured out what it was. Like basically, you
That's,
guys heard
yeah.
you heard the alarm, the snare trap, whatever we set up, the alarm snare, and Puck woke up from the noise and you didn't, and then Squirrel basically told everybody to keep quiet until, yeah. So they checked it out and left you asleep. And yeah, I don't know what Even was doing, but Frankko was there, Squirrel was there, and Puck eventually walked up because he heard talking, and he's Puck, so.
The conversation got weird, as I recall.
Yeah, one thing she mentioned.
Started talking about, people like going between worlds.
Between the spaces, yes.
Yes.
Squirrel or somebody asked, how do we get off this island? And she looked at you confused and said, you'd have to fly or sail or move between the spaces. And then I think I think it was a U-Puck or somebody else basically figured out that she's talking about the Fae.
Yes.
And I think you asked her directly about the Fae and said, are those your people? And she said, no, they come here, they're monsters. They move between the spaces as well.
I forget. Did anybody ask her or get a sense for how far away this area she was inviting us all to is?
It
can't be that far because she's doing runs with water.
True.
Yeah, that's a good indication. Yeah, it's not that far, but she did not give you any indication of how far it was. You haven't seen it from the trees you're in, but also things are so dense that you're not really sure you would. If it's built into the forest, you're not sure you would see the villa.
Right. I mean, but basically, we could camp out in this watering hole, or if we think it's not that far of a walk away, we could just go to this place and presumably try to rest there. It's basically our choice.
Yeah, you could do either of those.
Why not both?
We could sleep twice.
I mean, we could rest here, and just in case things are weird over there, so that we're fresh, and then go see her. I mean, she wasn't like, come right now.
She was not. That's true.
She rode a lion.
She was riding a lion, yes.
If she wanted to hurt us, she would have.
Agreed.
May as well go sleep in a bed.
Yeah, Puck nods.
Yeah, Frankko would be inclined to agree.
I think Squirrel would prefer the sleeping in the forest, but is not going to put up a fight.
How much longer do we think G-Pain has to rest before he would be recovered?
I forget the exact timing, but we did. I think it was 2 or 3 hours into his nap. So I think you need a full 8 hours of rest in Pathfinder 2 still. So I think he would need 5 more hours, and that would lead into the mid-evening, early evening, because you started in the afternoon. But your plan was basically to, I think, rest the whole night and not leave in the middle of the night. But you could wake him up and try and force him to walk if you wanted to.
Yeah, so I feel like basically either we let him sleep and probably also have, if Squirrel wants to get his rest in too, he can just go do it. So we'd be tacking on an extra, whatever it is, 2 hours to that, or we just go now. But Frankko would be, if Even's pushing for it, Franco's happy to just go.
Yeah. Puck's in, Even's in, Frankko is in. Squirrel, so you said you're not resisting, basically?
Yeah, I'm reluctant, but I will go along.
Okay, and you're gonna kick G-Pain awake to walk.
What's happening? Who's on fire? G-Pain will shamble up and see everyone packing up and just start throwing his shit in his bag and be like, okay.
Puck will look knowingly at him and say, we have found another of the hair. We must leave.
Understood. Yeah, G-Pain doesn't show any reluctance. He goes where the camp goes.
All right. The path is pretty clear, but just in case, Squirrel, why don't you give me a survival check to make sure you don't totally flub it. And even you can try to help him if you want. Make a survival
All I'm trying to do is follow a path. Is
Yeah,
that
well,
what
it's not like it's not like a road or anything like that, but it is a fairly clear path with fairly clear footprints on it. But again,
All right. Just take a complete wrong.
yeah, okay. You only have a +3? Oh, because you have a bad wisdom, I guess.
Oh, I had
plus-
Tree Dweller too.
Yeah, plus 3
but-
Yeah, but you crit, so you critically succeed. So yeah,
okay, it doesn't matter.
you very easily follow the path back. And even doesn't fumble, but yeah, he's not like
Offers
he's getting
some bad
distracted.
suggestions.
He's getting distracted along the way, and it's a very clear path to Squirrel. But even is distracted by a lot of the wildlife. So as you're moving through, again, it's just teeming with life. You see all sorts of small mammals. There are birds in all of the trees above you. There is a huge diversity of life here in these woods. And you very
Every
easily...
quarter mile or so, Even's blasting a whistle.
Okay.
How much light
Listening.
is out?
It's late afternoon, maybe early evening at this point. So still, like the sun is setting, if anything.
And for what it's worth, if even, because I don't remember if even has one of these or not, but Frankko has a signal whistle from one of the earlier adventures and would pass that to even if he wanted to use that.
No, that's okay. He'll know the whistle.
Okay. Let me do something. Okay. So as you're walking, you get no response to the whistle. And you arrive at the villa. So let me go ahead and activate a new map.
And just out of curiosity, how long of a walk did it end up being?
It was less than a mile from where you were. And when you see it, you were, again, just the way that the trees around it are taller than the villa itself. So you're not surprised that Squirrel, even from his vantage point a mile away, would have missed it or not seen it. So as you approach, you find a stone-walled villa covered in undergrowth and vines. There is a red-tiled roof with patches missing in places, and it seems to circle an interior courtyard with several trees poking out taller than the building itself. So you see, like, even above the roof, there are, like, trees inside of this villa. And you come, and there are 2 doors and 2 windows. The windows have door icons on them, like this one, and these ones are windows. And you can go up to them if you want. But, can you see... I'm going to drag Frankko around. If I drag him around the whole building, do you guys... Like, can everybody see up here now? Or just Frankko see?
Yeah, I see it now.
Okay, so let me just drag Frankko around so you get, like, a feel for the villa. Meow. Because as you were approaching, you would have seen most of the outside of it. If you want to actually sneak around things and look inside windows and stuff, let me know. But that's the general shape of the villa.
It's made out of like wood or is that stone?
Stone, yeah.
Oh wow. Go ahead.
What is that? Is it just like bedding in water hole or something?
Yeah,
like
it's
that,
to hitch up a horse or something. There's no horse currently there, but it looks like you could do that. And the water is in the trough, like it is ready to serve an animal, but there's nothing there.
G-Pain will start whistling a whimsical forest tune as he approaches this building.
Frankko would happily pull out his flute and start kind of complimenting the whistling.
Announcing the party. That's good.
Yeah, very peaceful, very cheery.
Yeah, we're just, hello, we are here to rest. I'm very tired.
All right. Are you going to knock on the door, or are you hoping that the
Yeah,
the
Puck,
music
Puck will walk up
I was
and
gonna
knock on
say,
the door.
Are you hoping
There you
that
go,
the
Puck.
music does it? All right. So you knock on the door, and Kirkee herself answers it. So the door flies open, and you see in the door is Kirkee.
Wow. Nice place.
Yeah. Is that some koi? Some koi action?
yeah.
here?
Boy,
Yeah.
action. Wow.
So she opens the door and she sees Puck is the one in front, and she bows her head shallowly. She says, "Welcome to my villa."
Yeah.
And she gestures in for anybody to come in if you like.
Yeah, Puck returns the bow and enters.
Sure.
T-Pain plays the music into her place.
She does not seem perturbed by that at all. Make a perform check, both of you and Frankko. Oh,
T-Pain.
You're flu.
I got it, Frankko. I got it.
You've got
Let's
extra
go.
hero points.
Let's go.
So as G-Pain walks in whistling, Kirkee seems rather happy with that. And then right as you step in, Frankko basically just blows his flute really hard and misses all of the notes discordantly with your song. And she looks up at you, Frankko.
G-Pain tries to play into what he did. Like it's like a dubstep kind of vibe. And he tries to ride it and then bring it back to where it was.
Give me another performance check then to see how well you.
Come on, G-Pain.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So she looks at you and she definitely finds it strange, and she didn't hit her ear right, but she looks at you, and you've leveled it out a bit, and she's like, "Yes, come in." And she looks at you, Puck. Are you doing anything?
Puck is just kind of observing, I would say, the environment for the moment. Like, was this some kind of statue up on the
That is a
north
big
side
statue.
of the?
Yeah, you can make a knowledge religion check to see what you
I
know
would
about
love.
that statue.
Yeah.
And there are
Oh.
koi fish in the pond. There are 4 of them. That's a really good knowledge religion check for you. Well, I guess for all you goblins. You have a +3. There you go. This is a statue of Erastil, the hunter god. He is god of animals, community, family, home, and hearth. Yeah, he's a god common to the human realm, and you would know a good deal about him. Pretty much anything you want to know about his basic stuff.
These fish are decoration, right?
And she nods. Yes, of course. And she gestures them, and they're beautiful. They have gold, white, and black scales, and one of them is exceptionally beautiful. One of them is almost purely white, alabaster, with these shimmering golden eyes, and they move about kind of lazily in the pond.
How crooked is this fish's nose?
Them's, is them's magic fish? That's a freebie for me.
The fish themselves are not magic. The fountain in the middle very much is. You can tell that this water is being not replenished, but it is being moved by magic. Like this fountain in the middle is not plumbed. It is magic is driving the fountain.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's pretty cool.
And she,
So
yeah.
I don't mean to be rude, but it was earlier today that we washed ashore, and all of us are pretty exhausted. Is there a place that we can rest so that we can be more interesting guests when we're not as beat as we are right now?
She nods and she looks over you and can tell that you are all visibly exhausted and, covered in seawater and whatnot. So she nods and says, of course, forgive me. And she begins walking around to this other door and opens it and gestures for all of you to follow. And the lion is in the middle of the big courtyard. And again, you see all sorts of animals all around. I guess I could...
T-Pain tries to play for the lion.
You're trying to play something for the lion?
Yeah, I try to find something that I think the lion would like. And as she welcomes us into her house, T-Pain spares no time to walk around and case the doors, but also play music.
Okay. Yeah, so
All right, T-Pain.
she moves towards the center, and the lion looks at you with this oddly placid face. And G-Pain, you didn't notice this earlier, but people that were at the river, or at the water source, whatever, the watering hole, they did notice that the lion was oddly pacified, docile for a lion. It barely even looked at you when you walked up to talk to Kirkee, and it still has this same placid expression on its face. And as you walk up, it doesn't look happy, G-Pain, but it is watching you and following you with its eyes, just almost impassively. And Kirkee gestures up here to the door over there, and she says, if you need to wash up, there's water and a latrine there. And she brings you over to this door and opens it. And she says, I only have 2 guest bedrooms. I suppose you'll have to share. And she shows you, I'll just drag puck in, she shows you this one. She shows you one across the hall. Drag puck over there too. I'll put it back.
Could fit a lot of people on that bed.
Yeah, well, especially goblins. But yeah, so she shows you those 2 guest bedrooms. And she says, you're welcome to split them as you see fit.
You are most kind.
She nods, looks to the others. Are you wandering around G-Pain, or are you...
I'm gonna go to the room, but I'm gonna take the wall, basically. I'm gonna like peer into the whatever these things are, get a feel for everything. He doesn't fully trust the situation, but he's trying to be a respectable guest.
The little things I think you were pointing at, those are like sconces holding torches on the walls.
Okay.
And there's a hallway down there. Are you wandering into the hallway?
I almost do like a little dance move. Like I stumble into the hallway, go here, look around the corner, and then like whoop, play myself out basically. I'm like, oh whoops. He's whistling and like whimsically jumping around. But he's really going for the forest music vibe.
You do see that it does turn, and there are presumably more rooms over there, but she does not. She doesn't notice, and you don't get an idea of what's over there.
I don't hear anything like weird or anything.
No, you don't hear anything happening over there at all.
Okay. Well, satisfied, I go into the bedroom.
Okay.
I think I go to sleep right away, unless someone stops me.
Kirkee. I have food to share. I've gathered. Is there a kitchen?
She nods. Yes, of course. And she comes over here, and she shows you the kitchen is this room over here. And I'll just drag even into it so you can see it. And she says, "I'll have something prepared if you like when you awake." What have you brought? And you can see the kitchen is pretty fully stocked. There's some goat on the table over here and a bunch of different vegetables and cheeses.
Mostly crab.
Delicious. I haven't had crab in a while.
I'll wash up and get it started. And you have servants to finish?
I'm sure I could find someone, yes.
Okay.
Do you need help with the cooking or the serving?
The serving, but cooking would be helpful too.
She nods. Okay.
We're still on watch, right? Like G-Pain, before he goes to sleep, makes sure that
you're already asleep. You said you went to sleep. You're done.
No, I'm assuming that we're not in this lady's house like fully comfortable, right? Like someone has to get up and guard us from this lion.
Puck seems very comfortable.
No, same for Frankko.
Squirrel wants to watch this.
You just met this lady. Yeah, rule number 1, man. All right, well, whatever. Yeah, G-Pain he goes to sleep, so hopefully he wakes up alive, guys.
Even would have reiterated when we were walking, she has a trained lion. If she wanted to kill us, she already would have killed us.
Yeah, but maybe she wants to do something else with us.
Yeah, maybe she wants to do weird things to us. She wants to cook us, and she wants you to make the base.
Eva's gonna get a
Then
job
you'll
as
be in a
base.
delicious face.
I will be a delicious person. Yes, I respect that. That is moral worthy, my friend.
So it
So
looks
even
like
goes and washes up and then ends up in the kitchen rather than in bed immediately.
okay, that's fine. Looks like Frankko and G-Pain went to bed pretty quickly together, just crashing in that big bed.
Yeah,
And
we're having a sleepover.
and Puck's also going to sleep.
Indeed,
Dude,
indeed.
come on to bed. We have
He's got his own room right now.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Evan's hanging out in the kitchen, and Squirrel, what are you doing?
Keep and watch. I think what I would do is just to slowly patrol between the two rooms, just listening in. Or I don't know, are the doors staying open? I would peek in and just kind of pace back and forth.
That's up to you guys. Kirkee didn't close them. Would you leave your doors open?
I would probably close. There's a lion on the other side of it. Like, he seems pretty nice, but
All right, so Puck's is closed, and Frankko, G-Pain.
I don't think Frankko care. Frankko doesn't care.
I would. I'll do what I do as a person. I leave it open a crack,
Okay, fair enough. I'll just leave it open then.
just in case.
Yeah. Yeah, so Squirrel, you do your little patrol in the middle of the courtyard. And as I said before, there's tons of animals all over the place. A lot of the walls have vines growing on them, and on the outside there was a lot of overgrowth on the outside of the villa.
And
And you-
can I do a check to, are any of these dangerous? I mean, besides the lion.
You can make a nature check, yeah.
Is the lion sleeping out there?
The lion was just kind of hanging out there, and yeah, he's laying down there. He's not sleeping, but he's laying down. With a quick scan of the type of animals you're seeing, the vast majority of them are not dangerous. You're seeing a lot of like small mammals, some lizards, lots of different birds. Birds can be dangerous. You don't see like, giant hawks or rocks or anything like that. But, if you pissed off an eagle, you might get in trouble. But yeah, you don't see anything too bad. You don't see like poisonous snakes or nothing like that. It's just a lot of animals of all different kinds.
Okay. All right. I'll just stick to patrol then.
Okay. So you stick with the patrol, and Kirkee sets Even up in the kitchen. And then she uses the bathroom over here. I'll open the door. I'll move Even in so you can see it. She does not. She uses the bathroom, comes out, and then she goes into the foyer area.
They'll lock us all in.
To lock you in with the lion. It's Thunderdome time.
We're just here for her entertainment.
Yeah.
People are sick in the frontier, man.
So Squirrel, she's out there for about 5 minutes. You peeping or spying or anything, or are you just doing your patrol?
I guess I'm keeping a watch on the door, but I'm not leaving the rooms, this half of the area where I can hear the rooms.
Fair enough. She finishes, and she comes out of there, and she begins walking over to that hallway G-Pain saw. And as you're walking around, Squirrel, she asks you how you're doing.
Tired, but appreciate your hospitality.
It is my pleasure. And she turns and looks for a moment and points out a little chipmunk on the ground and says, "A relative of yours, perhaps?"
And Squirrel just laughs nervously and says, maybe.
And she chuckles, happy with her joke. And she begins walking into the hallway up there. And after a few minutes, she comes back with a gnome.
Okay. Just keeping a gnome in the corner.
Keeping a gnome in the servants' quarters. What do you... so she comes back with a gnome, and she begins walking over towards the kitchen. And the gnome is very clearly dressed as a chef, Squirrel.
Does the gnome look like scared or beat
Make
down?
a perception check. The gnome looks a little afraid. She keeps her eyes down on the ground for the most part, but she does look up and bows to you as she crosses paths with you. She does appear to be a servant in the ancient Greek and Roman ways of servants, and she is in the presence of her master. And she barely addresses you, but she shows you some sort of honor on her way past.
Okay,
And-
but do I see any signs of physical trauma or anything?
No, you do not believe Kirkee is beating or brutalizing this little gnome.
All right.
And Kirkee comes into the kitchen, and she presents to you even Rosixi, the gnome. And Rosixi again bows shallowly in front of you, and Kirkee says, "This is Rosixi. She will help you with whatever you need in the kitchen."
And even just even.
Rosixi nods. What?
And
Why did
he'll
that-
continue. What just happened?
My playlist changed
Cool
randomly.
tunes, yeah.
Yeah, it started like the washed up combat music. That was weird. I promise there's no combat, and I didn't hit the button. I promise this gnome is not
The
gonna-
lion stirs.
the gnome is a bug movie. It's happening again. It was all a dream. All right. Yeah. So Kirkee introduced you to Rosixi, and Rosixi meekly acknowledges you even, and Kirkee goes to leave. And looks like at some point this door got opened. Did you open it, Squirrel, or did you click on it by accident? Bloop. I think you're muted if you're talking, Mr. Squirrel.
Sorry. No, I didn't touch it. I would have stuck to this half of the room. I'm not trying to open any doors.
Yeah, it flew open somehow by accident, but it's all good. Yeah. So, Even, what are you doing in the kitchen?
Even basically explains in broken sentences what he's doing, what his idea is for how to prepare the crab, and he asks her opinion, and he's trying to assess if she's better than him in the kitchen.
Some red herrings.
No red herrings, just this is my idea, thoughts.
And this is all happening in common, just so I'm keeping track.
Yeah, I assume Even you're talking in common.
Yeah, of
common.
course.
Even
Of
broken
course.
common. So roll a cooking check or whatever it is. I think is it lore cooking or whatever you have.
Really craft?
Yeah, I guess it's craft. Yeah, fair enough. So yes, she has household lore, which I'm going to assume is cooking. So
What did he
yes,
get?
she got a 17. So she thinks what you are proposing is not good. I don't think that will taste the way you think it does, she says somewhat politely. And she says you're mixing seafood with a beef based, and she's questioning you but being very polite about it.
I can break down, and you can direct.
As you wish. You are the guests of the master.
So even will just sort of sous chef for her and do whatever she needs.
Okay. And you're providing the crabs as the primary meal?
Yeah.
The only major protein you see in the room so far is goat. that's mostly gone. And again, there's lots of vegetables and stuff. But yeah, so you provide crabs, and she will create something. As a Marylander, I should know exactly what she should do with crabs, but
Old Bay.
I'm a newly.
Get some,
yeah,
get some
breaks out the Old
cracker
Bay.
meat all. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
She gets the big old pot. How many
Crushes
bushels? How
up.
many bushels you got even? You didn't know how many
Crushes
bushels
up
of crabs.
cicadas.
Cicadas are good eating, apparently. We've been talking about it. But yeah, she's fine. So Rosixi will lead the cooking if that's what you want her to do. And the primary meal for the day is going to be crabs. And that's it in the kitchen. You want to say or do anything with Rosixi, or you just cooking?
Even just remarks on the trained animals everywhere. I've never seen a trained lion.
And Rosixi looks at you curiously. Why not? You don't know of animal speakers? You have no animal speakers where you're from?
Animal speakers?
She looks and she's a gnome. Make a basic knowledge check. Just roll d20. I don't even know what lore it would be, but just roll d20.
Where's the regular dice?
I guess it's society. Roll d20 or society, whatever you feel you're better at.
Where are the regular dice?
On the left side, I think it auto hides now because I
You're in a
installed the
hidden
mod.
pane. There's a red line that you hover.
Oh.
Yeah, and you can hit the lock button at the bottom if you want it to always stay out, but it hides because I
fine.
wanted a minimal UI for the stream.
No
Yeah,
idea.
you don't know shit about gnomes. Well, she looks at you and she can tell that you don't know much about animal speakers, and she says, "Oh well, some people can," and she stammers over. Says, "Well, literally speak to animals." She says, "I, a gnome, I am capable of speaking with certain animals, small, burrowing things like that, but the master can speak to far more."
So she talks to the lion?
She can, yes.
Strange.
She shrugs and says, it's not so strange. And she continues preparing the crabs, mostly just boiling them and sprinkling Old Bay on them. Getting out the crackers and the
The Olden Bay.
the Old Bay. Apparently, some people are J&O fanatics and they will shank you for handing them Old Bay. So I don't know. Apparently, there's a whole thing.
There's a well, really anybody who's worth their salt makes their own.
Well.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not sure any of
if
my
you
garbage
want to get
worth their
real
salt.
serious about it, yeah, you've got to.
I don't think I've ever. Oh, I'm gonna have to talk to my garbage because I don't think I've ever.
Oh yeah, like every like crab place will give you their own
Oh,
stuff.
you mean the local place? I thought you meant like the chefs themselves. So that might be true.
Well, I mean, yeah, also that. I mean, if you're like a super cool guy,
yeah.
but
Yeah, I've done
Gotta
some
be
steak
super
rubs
cool.
in my day. I've never done a crab rub.
yeah, I have not. I'll admit it. I have enjoyed the crab seasonings of others, but I have not attempted one of those from scratch myself.
Yeah, it's not really for me. Like I'm okay, like whatever. Like throwing them all in. It's a whole thing. Anyway, we're off topic. It's a whole thing. But yeah, so
Sea bugs,
yeah, exactly. Sea spiders.
eat them up.
I've thrown down at a McGarvey crab feast because basically I was expected to, but I didn't super enjoy it. Anyway, yeah. So you're talking to Rosixi about gnomes and animal talkers and things like that, and Kirkee passes by you again, Squirrel. You're on your little military patrol. How are you carrying yourself as you're doing this? Because I see you are moving your token around, which I love. So how is Squirrel walking around on this patrol?
Basically, he's just shuffling his feet, trying to stay awake because we are dog tired, right? I mean, he's looking forward to his time to rest, but by shuffling around, he's just trying to stay awake.
Okay. And Kirkee eventually walks past you again, makes some light, polite conversation, and then is going to head into this room here. And you watch as she takes a key off a ring in her pocket and unlocks the door and opens it. And she doesn't care much if you see inside of it, so go ahead and patrol upwards past it, and we'll say that you see it before she closes the door. It is a large bedroom. And then she closes the door and hangs out in there for a while.
And what was the white marble-looking thing I saw? Is that just a table?
This thing here in front of the couch?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
table.
coffee table. Okay.
Yeah, it's just a table in front of the
a
couch.
Sacrificial altar.
No. Not that I'm aware of. No.
I think that was the front door, right? We had
That's a sacrificial
basically
altar?
like
Yeah.
a god and some weird magic and sweet fish.
It's a normal god though.
She does.
Oh
seem to
yeah, I
have-
mean I'm not saying it's nefarious, but I would say if something's going to qualify as an altar,
Well,
it's probably the godfish.
Good old godfish. That's
She does have a
that's a
magical-
normal Pathfinder god. I didn't bother making gods in this world. It's the normal Pathfinder god of the hunt and family and community.
And enjoyed goblin sacrifices.
Yeah, he loves those. Like, oh, whoops,
Yeah,
sorry.
we're all about that.
Yeah, he's all about the goblin sacrifices. So yeah, is anybody doing? I guess like, 3 of you are sleeping. So Even or Squirrel, are you doing anything for a couple hours if Kirkee doesn't interrupt you?
I think if like an hour goes by with nothing, I would probably try to take a peek, just back in the front room again, not leaving this room, but just to see if I could see if she changed anything.
Sure.
Because I know she went over here, right, and did something.
Yeah.
Maybe. So yeah, I don't know, like a perception check. Or...
It is a perception check. Yeah. That's pretty decent. Let me look up something real quick. The Archives of the website is always just slow enough to frustrate you when you really want it to do something. You don't notice anything out of the ordinary. You can't even really. There's no like footprints here either, so you can't tell exactly where she went in here.
But I'm looking for anything that's different. Do I notice anything that's changed?
With your initial quick glance, no. Are you spending like a lot of time there to really check? Because like you walk in the doorway and you look around and nothing seems out of place.
Yeah, I think squirrels, as long as everything still just seems exactly like it was when I've been patrolling for the past hour, Squirrel will take a longer look.
Okay. Yeah, Kirkee doesn't come back out, so you do have some time. Roll again. I don't think there's any taking 20 in this game, I don't think. So go ahead, just roll again.
Perception again?
Yeah, roll perception again. No, you don't see anything. I'm searching now if there's like a taking 20 or taking 10 or anything like that. But you look around for a bit longer and don't see anything going on. If there's anybody watching the stream in the chat that knows anything about taking 20 or taking 10, let me know. Yeah, but you do not see anything.
All right. So I guess Squirrel would just shrug and return back to his vigil. And has Even been in the kitchen? It's just staying there for these 2 hours?
I guess. I mean, I don't think it takes that long to cook crabs. Or you're not even really just cooking them because you're preparing them to be cooked when people wake up in 8 hours, right? Or
Yeah, pretty much. He'll do the breakdown and then he'll, wash up and go to bed.
Okay.
He's going to sleep too. Damn it.
Crab breakfast is best.
Crab breakfast, crab
Wait,
eggs.
isn't this still like the late afternoon or something?
It was the beginning of evening. It was like almost dinner time, and you guys just kind of walked in to go to bed. And the plan that you had yesterday was basically you're going to sleep in shifts and then just kind of start the next morning. You're basically going to have a lot of watches.
G-Pain and somebody else have already slept a couple hours, right? Even before getting
Yeah,
here.
G-Pain had I think 3 hours in before.
Does it add up like that? Because I'll get up. For sure.
You can take them as you will. Yes, you can.
Yeah, well, whenever the appropriate time to clear his status stuff.
Yeah.
Then Squirrel would just go wake him up.
Yeah, once 5 hours passes, I'm trying to get up.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So So basically, let's just assume that 5 hours pass, and Kirkee, for the most part, is in her room. She comes out every once in a while, and just walks around the courtyard, but doesn't do much.
She's just looking. Just walking around?
She comes out and she chats with you a little bit, but unless you're engaging her in conversation, she's not poking or prodding you. She's expecting to talk to you at dinner, and she finds it a little funny and curious that you're kind of marching around, and like you said, you're shuffling your feet, you're doing this patrol, like not nodding off, but very visibly exhausted. And she finds it a little interesting. So she almost seems to like watching you, but she's not just sitting there and doing it. So every once in a while, she'll just walk through the courtyard, check on something, maybe play with some small animal on the wall. But she doesn't seem to be doing much of anything. And then she'll go back into her room. All right. So yeah, 5 hours will pass, and G-Pain, and who was sleeping with you? Puck, right?
Frankko.
No.
Frankko Danko.
I thought
It was Puck.
Yeah.
Franco was awake before.
Yeah. So
before.
If you like Puck, you can also be awake.
Yeah, I'll be awake.
Yeah. So it's now I guess nighttime, I would say, because it's. Again,
Do I get any kind of healing for the rest?
You do.
See, I'm down 3.
Yeah. I think there's actually a button for it. If you click on yourself, is there a rest button? Where would that even be?
Oh, there's very small icons. Status effects.
Where did you find that, G-Pain?
Utility, rest for the night.
It's under the HUD. That's fun. Yeah, good for that.
Where?
Under the
HUD,
click
got
on
different
yourself,
words.
and then the far right is utility. And it cleared your status effects too. Did it heal you at all?
Yeah, it did not heal me.
Also, it didn't touch your spells, apparently.
Okay, yeah, so you can reslot your spells. I'll figure out how much it heals you for while we're doing that. But yeah, you two wake up, and what's the plan, Squirrel? Are you going to sleep? Is Even going? Even's already asleep.
Yeah, assuming those guys are up, Squirrel would be satisfied and go to sleep.
Okay. So you two are up. And Puck, does your exhaustion thing clears too, right? That's that effect.
Yeah, that got rid of it, and okay. Yes, the enfeebled goes away, I think.
Oh, and I had art for Rosixi. I did not set it. Out, so that's what she looks like even. Rosixi. She was there in the kitchen, and when you left, she was still in the kitchen preparing. But it seemed well in hand. Basically, again, it's not that difficult to prepare the meal you're preparing. And she will finish it and have it ready when you awake.
Nice.
And yeah. So, Puck and G-Pain, you are awake. You want to talk or say anything to Squirrel before he goes to bed?
Why am I damaged now?
You have a lot of damage. I don't know why. You gain hit points equal to your Constitution modifier when you sleep.
I was at full health, like when I went to sleep.
Are you sure you were?
Yeah, 100%. I was at 30 out of 30 when I went to sleep.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I don't get. I was at 30, and
I mean, I'll believe you, because I think they would have done surgery on you. I just healed you, and it didn't actually heal you for some reason. Yeah, your current HP is 10.
As soon as I got out of bed.
I think the rest button might have broke you somehow.
Oh man, I broke my code.
I don't know why, but like when I type in 30 hit points on your sheet, it comes back to 10. I'll have to look at it and figure out.
Do I have a weird state on me?
I don't think so. I don't see any. So go ahead. Roleplay with Squirrel and/or Puck while I play around with your thing real quick.
You maybe delete me and bring me back. So I thank Squirrel. Thank you for watching over me and Puck. Did you notice anything weird?
No, she went to the place where we came in. It did something, but otherwise she has just been wandering around. Oh, and Evan's cooking something with a gnome in the kitchen.
He's still cooking?
No, he's asleep. I mean,
No.
he was. So, but he went to sleep before Squirrel did. So I guess he would have gotten to bed with Puck.
That's right.
Okay, well, I'll shout, or I'll play some cool tunes. I'll yell out "Shot A" really loud if it's
So wake everyone up.
yeah, to wake you up if there's anything weird going on.
All right. So Squirrel is just super tired. So this is like, yeah, that's fine.
And G-Pain will go to Puck and just kind of like lean against the wall and be like, "What do you think's down that hall?" And he points over here.
It's nighttime now too, because hours have passed.
Puck appears fixated on the lion at the moment.
It's asleep at this point. It's actually sleeping in the courtyard.
Puck will approach the lion.
G-Pain seeing this goes the other way and goes into the kitchen and goes to look at what Even has made. G-Pain basically patrols around, but does like a pretty crappy. He's not his soldier. He kind of hangs out, sits on the bench for a bit, goes in a room, messes around with the stuff a little bit, comes back out.
All right. If you go into the kitchen, you see Rosixi is in there, and she's not doing a whole lot. Like I said before, basically she has the crabs all prepped. You don't want to throw them in and boil them now, and have people sleeping for 6 more hours or whatever it is. So she's basically prepped everything so that when the time comes, she just dumps all this in there, and the rest of the meal is basically making itself. So you come in and she turns to you and says, "Hello," and she bows.
Hello. Where are you from?
She looks at you. She here?
Oh, like okay. Like you were born here?
And she says, "No, I don't think so."
Oh, I am G-Pain. I am born on the island of Zio. I think I have to look. The Shirag has to look that up.
Okay, we'll go with Zio.
Yeah, go with Zio. And I bring trade from my island. I bring gimbleberries, and G-Pain produces some gimbleberries and be like, "Have you ever cooked with gimbleberries?"
She shakes her head. No. What are they good for?
Like berry things. And he gets a little annoyed by that question, not knowing the answer, and he just gives her a bunch. And he says, "You'll figure out something. You look like you know what you're doing."
She takes one in her hand and squeezes some of the juice out and tastes just a little bit on her tongue. She says, and they're safe?
Yeah. And they're hardy. They last the entire duration of this adventure. In fact,
Survived a shipwreck.
yeah, they are very hardy.
They're really good, like with just a kiss of salt water on them.
Yeah.
And she takes a bunch and she pops one into her mouth, and she doesn't seem too impressed by your gimbleberries. And she looks around at the meal she's preparing, and she doesn't really have anything to add them to. She says, "I could present them as a side with the meal if you like. Are you looking to impress the master?" She raises an eyebrow.
Yeah, but not with that kind of reaction. And G-Pain looks a little dejected and is like, "What kind of berries do you have around here then?"
She gestures over to the table next to you. There is a lot of different fruits in the bin right there.
Does this place look more splendorful than most meals, most kitchens?
This is a fairly nice kitchen, especially for somebody who's been like occupying a shit small town. Yeah, like this is a very well-stocked kitchen. And you can make any kind of lore check related to cooking or nature-y type stuff. Whatever you feel you're best at.
What I have +1 in crafting, but
you can use that, or are you worse at nature?
I have nothing in nature. I have a +5 in the nation of Livia, which I realize is worthless now.
Probably.
Yeah.
So you have no idea. You look at a bunch of different fruits and berries, and it seems like there's a wide variety of things in here, but you're not sure This seems like a fairly well-selected kitchen compared to what you've seen recently, but you don't have the knowledge to kind of assess what state of a kitchen this is.
So G-Pain realizing his gimbleberries are worthless here at this place. Just like, all right, I'll just put him down here, and you guys figure it out. And he kind of looks over everything and is like, what can you tell me about your master?
What would you?
And
like?
he very to the point looks at her and says, "What can you tell me?"
What would you like to know?
Like, what's the deal around here? Does she help people? What is she about?
She looks confused. What do you mean about?
Like, what are her motivations? What is she doing out here?
She cares for the animals. She helps them when they are hurt. She helps them find food. She lives a simple life here in her villa.
G-Pain nods. It's hard for him to understand there's someone like this out there speaking to animals and living in the forest. He's like, okay, and he just walks out. Slowly walks out, but is looking around, like thumbing around.
Okay, and again, you see that she's preparing the same food we talked about earlier. The crabs and everything are out there, and you're wandering about.
So Puck makes no effort to approach silently, really. Does the lion wake up as he...
You make no attempt to be quiet at all?
No, I'm not trying to sneak up on it.
Okay. I mean, I'll roll a perception check for the lion, but it's asleep, so it gets a big penalty. Yeah, it does not wake up.
Okay. Puck will approach and lay a hand on it.
Oh, wow.
That I think will probably wake it up. I'll make another perception check, and unless it fails really bad. Oh. Yeah. So you watch as you do, the skin tenses where you put your hand, but it has not awoken.
Look, I mean, I'm trying to wake the lion up.
Okay. fair enough. And I just realized I have like evening. I have like crickets for the nighttime.
Ooh.
Yeah. I hope the playlist isn't working differently now, because last time I started playing different music in the same category, so we'll find out. Anyway, so you wake up the lion. Yeah. So you give it a little shove, and its eyes open and it lazily turns to you.
Puck will give it a piece of food.
Okay.
Offer it some food.
I assume it's like a meat.
Yeah, some sort of meat item. I haven't extensively cataloged the meat I'm carrying, but
fair enough. Okay.
Let's assume.
Sure. Yeah. So it looks at you and it sniffs the meat you have in your hand, and it will eat it. Yeah.
All right. Puck will begin attempting to trim its mane.
Wow.
Is it diplomacy to handle animals, or is there?
I don't know.
Handle animals. Squirrel would know this. Is it nature to handle animals in this game?
Yeah, I think animal hand. No, actually, there is a charisma.
Oh, good. I like charisma.
Basically, I want to see if you freak it out. I'm not sure if you just diplomacy the animal or if it's based on nature. I remember we made you do one with the dog. Just command an animal. Common animal? Handful? Huh?
Handle animal is for trained only?
Oh.
So you have no ability to work with.
No, I have no special
I give you,
goodies.
yeah, make a nature roll. Basically, do you know enough about lions to not freak it the hell out when you're putting scissors in its head?
No.
No. So yeah. So but you didn't critically fumble, which is important. So the lion looks concerned for a moment, and that is the most emotion you've seen on this oddly placid lion's face. But he does not stop you as you go to trim his graying mane.
Puck will offer it another piece of food, seeing that It's a sort of peace offering.
Yep.
And yeah, we'll attempt to. Let's see. Let me look up a good lion haircut. But assume I'm working on that for a few minutes, and I'll get something.
Get me some art. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you offer it some food, and it's completely docile. It has no ill intent towards you as you're doing this. And if you keep plying it with food, it's not going to stop you from trimming its mane. And so, G-Pain, presumably you're going to see some of that if you're walking around the room. He's cutting the lion's hair.
I was actually sitting on this bench, getting really excited for him to get mauled by a lion, because I am still a goblin at the end of the day. And when I see it's just a boring like interaction between a goblin and a lion, he just kind of moves on. And he is definitely getting a little bored. So every time he makes a lap, he goes further and further into this room.
Okay.
Until he's basically also patrolling this hallway too.
Okay. You see there are 3 doors up there.
There you go.
I'll get myself over here.
Yeah, you can move over there. There are 3 doors. They are all closed.
Okay. I still make it part of my patrol now.
Okay.
And he's just going very lazily once in a while, like whistling through a tune in his head, testing something out. Then you find as he passes the kitchen every time, he's like practicing his gimbleberry pitch. He's like, gimbleberries are the #1 crop in Zio. Gimbleberries are... And he is definitely a little dejected that he couldn't sell this estate, his gimbleberries.
All right. And as the evening wears on, Kirkee comes out of her room. And she goes into this other room here.
No comment about it.
Roll a d20, G-Pain. I want to see where in the patrol you were when she started walking to the room.
I'm just gonna type it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. So that's actually not bad. That makes you about here. So, and
Okay.
she walks past you, and she nods and says, "Evening. How was your rest?"
Pretty good, thank you. You have a very nice place.
She nods. Thank you. He says, "Are you enjoying?" And she turns to see Puck. How long does your haircut take?
8 hours.
I mean, I posted it in the Discord, so you tell me how long you think that would take. You're the
level of
boss.
cut? Oh wow, 8 hours, easily 8 hours. Can you show that as art for our friends?
I've opened it in just the browser window. I'd say a good while. So yeah, I'd say that she does see you cutting the hair of the lion. So she's talking to you about it. Are you enjoying your? And she turns and looks at Puck doing that, but does not stop him. The lion seems okay with what's going on there, and she asks you, "What is that one doing?"
My friend, he cuts the hair, and he weaves the hair of destiny. And I knew nothing about the hair of destiny a week ago, but this guy does not stop talking about it, so I am starting to speak about the hair of destiny. And then he kind of tries to grab her attention and is like, this is all kind of weird to me, you know?
Oh, she begins. She's not paying much attention to you now. After the words you've just said, she is fixated on Puck, who's over there snipping with his glowing blue eyes, mind you. Not you have these red eyes. He has these glowing blue eyes, and she says to you without even looking down. You say he speaks of destiny. He knows how it is woven. The fates.
Well, I'm a sailor, and the ocean is a weird place, and the way he talks about destiny, it's kind of like how he talks about the ocean. It's like waves and intermixing together, and everything weaves, and he says he's just one part of the people who weave destiny.
He shall be interesting to talk to. I cannot wait for our conversation at the next meal. And she turns back to you and completely forgets that you were talking about being a sailor. And what was that? The waves?
Yeah, the waves. Anyway, Isn't it kind of weird that you just met us in the forest?
She says, "You are not the first to wreck upon my island. For some reason, it seems to happen somewhat often.
Where do people go after?
They fly or sail or move between the spaces."
Between the spaces.
She nods.
What does that mean for a common Gimbleberry diplomat person like me?
She takes her hands and she gestures like there are two separate things, and she just kind of drags between them. And like, do you understand that?
Can I make a knowledge occult check?
Sure, you can go with occult if that's what your strength is.
Man, I'm just throwing up 8s.
Yeah. Yeah, so
What the heck?
you're not catching it. And she says the Fae. You know the Fae, yes? The ones.
Yes.
Yes. And she
I
says,
do. I can summon the Fae, and he does a little trick in his hand.
And she raises an eyebrow. And where do you summon them from?
And he does a square, but a different plane. He's like, and he pops off a lid. He shows her a lid.
And she takes your hands and basically does the gesture she did with your own hands to show you are summoning them from somewhere else. You are moving them through the spaces.
And he like his jaw drops a little bit, like he's learned something today. He's like, "Wow, today I learned."
And then after she seems to have conveyed that to you, she says, "So, what Fae have you summoned?"
Thus far I have only summoned a tooth fairy.
And she seems appalled by that. Tooth fairies are monstrous creatures. Are they actually gremlins? Or are they? Let me see.
They are the real deal, lady. You conjure a fae. Do I summon the fae or do I create the fae?
I conjure means summon in my brain. It does not create.
Okay.
I believe.
Yeah, because the spell is called summon fae, but mentions conjure.
Yeah, you're summoning them. You are taking them from somewhere else and bringing them somewhere.
She says, "Listen, listen, my host." He's about to be like, "Listen, lady," and he says, "Listen, host. I am a business person at the heart of it, and I am trying to expand my homeland's reach. We are an island in the middle of nowhere, and we don't want to stay that way. And so with the Fae, just like with people, I make a contract. We make a deal."
She hears what you say, and she laughs. And she says, "Little one, if you are here to not be an island in the middle of nowhere, you have come far for nothing." And she begins walking into the room.
And Shirag laughs, but G-Pain doesn't. G-Pain furrows his brow and is like, "Wait, so where's the next biggest town?"
Town? She laughs again.
And he fixes his hair and tries to comfort himself by rubbing his body. He's like, "Okay, then." And he walks away, kind of towards Puck, but watches as she goes into the room.
Okay.
And tries to get an eye of the room.
Sure. She goes into the room, and it looks like it is a big bath. And she closed the door.
And I will walk over to Puck. And seeing that the lion is tamed, he just walks through the lion's threatened zone, and is like, "Hey, she seems interested in the hair."
We have much to speak of.
Yeah, I told her you're one of the people that weave destiny or something. I don't know. I was just bigging you up.
Puck kind of cocks his head a little bit and then just resumes his lion haircut.
Is this room open?
It was not opened. Are you going to try to open it?
No. Do I hear anything on the other side?
You
I will listen. I do lean up against the door.
make a perception check on inside that door.
All right.
You hear, I was gonna say I guess the crackling of torches. I'm not sure why they'd be lit if no one was in there, but yes, you hear the crackling of torches.
Okay. So I must see light coming from the bottom then.
Sure, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. And in the later half of this patrol, I'm assuming many hours have passed now. I will begin to patrol this room now too,
All right.
and look outside, look through the windows.
Sure, I'll open the windows for you. There's
And
very little light outside. They don't have torches on the outside of the building.
okay. And I just keep going.
All right. Puck, do you have a skill check related to how well you cut hair? Barber
Last
lore?
time, what did we do last
I
time?
think you have barber lore. That's pretty much it, I think.
Yeah, let's find it.
You have, it's surgery lore.
Oh,
but
surgery,
I've kind
yeah.
of ruled that it's like surgery was barbering back in the day.
Yes, I think that was.
Or barbers were surgeons. Whichever way you want to phrase that. Whichever,
All barbers are surgeons.
whichever upsets you the least. Yeah, so yeah, you did a fairly good haircut on this lion, and again, you were plying it with meat, so it didn't resist at all.
Yeah.
You have achieved your haircut. I wouldn't say it's a good haircut, but you have achieved your desired haircut. For the lion.
It's an expertly coiffed mane, sir.
It certainly is. I can't deny it. No one can deny it. And yeah, he seems totally fine with it, and you finished up. And the
All right.
patrol's going.
So Puck now seems to like it gets down real low on the ground with like the clippings and is just kind of pushing them around with his fingers and moving back and forth between the sides.
Yeah, you're doing your little TV thing.
Yeah.
You have any?
No. no, it's
You have not. What's your?
it's just for me.
Where'd your lore astronomy come from? Is that related to your oracleness or?
Yes.
Roll one of those.
Yeah, sure. Oh man, are we gonna actually give me something here? Oh boy.
Nice.
You sense power in this lion's mane more than a mere beast. You think there is something special about this lion, and the hairs are graying. It is an old lion. Yeah, see, it's playing randomly the soundtrack. That's not cool. Again, I'm not signaling anything. I promise.
Yeah.
I got to figure it out. I updated the core version of Foundry, and it's treating the playlist differently, I guess. So yeah, again, this is an aged lion, and you get the sense that it is more than a mere beast. This is a powerful one among its kind, and you sense that it might have some greater fate than just being essentially a lapdog
Yeah.
at Kirkee's side.
Puck carefully braids some of the lion's mane and slips it into his pouch.
Yeah, do either of you want to do anything else with the night? Frankko eventually wakes up, right? Because you needed 8 hours. They only needed 5. So 3 hours into this, you'd wake up. If you want to come out, Frankko.
Yeah, sure. I mean, poke his head out, see what the heck was going on. The new haircut on the lion.
Correct.
Which
Yeah, Puck is just kind of wandering around now.
which was not entirely expected, not entirely unexpected. I think Frankko would probably just get out, go to that washroom that was pointed out earlier, and start like sprucing himself up, basically.
Okay. That is perfectly fine. And yeah, you see G-Pain and Puck are just wandering around. Patrolling in quotes. And
You're muted if you're talking, Nas.
No? Okay.
So isn't it time to wake up even?
I think so. I think we're gonna fast forward to they went to bed when it was like nighttime, so it's the very early morning. The sun is rising and it's time for Even to wake up, and Squirrel wakes up a couple hours later.
Look at this
G-Pain-
real-time lighting. This
Yeah,
is
this is so cool.
this is fancy.
G-Pain will wake even up when it's his time.
Okay. So even
And
you're woken up by G-Pain.
Rise and shine, friend. And he he begins to sing him morning wake up music.
Squirrel is sleeping in there.
He tries to. I think I can even like make it so only he can hear it. I wonder.
Do you have magic for that, or is
I
that?
think
just...
I am that.
You could be like whisper singing it into his ear.
Yes, I whisper sweet nothings into his ear with a 23. Good.
All right,
save.
even he's whispering you a wake up song.
Fuck off.
And then he's like, shh, and he moseys out the room and is continuing to do a wake up song.
I'm getting up, but don't get on me again.
As he's leaving, be like, you need to lighten up, my friend. This is a harrowing journey. Oh, dude, you pressing the rested button? You're gonna.
I did it. I no one else lost hit points. I don't know what the hell you did to yourself, but it seemed to work for everybody else. So Frankko and Even are now awake. Or is there anything else you guys want to do? Like 2 hours later, Squirrel's gonna wake up. So the sun is rising now.
I think
Is this locked?
Where are you? I'm
Like
sorry.
the door to the foyer?
No, it's open.
Yeah, totally. Great.
Yeah.
Buck will stick his hand in the weird magic water.
Okay. It feels cool to the touch, and nothing seems to happen. There's no magic, nothing magic about the water except the fact that the fountain is fountaining without any obvious mechanism other than the magic you detected earlier. And toss me a perception check.
Okay.
And
Attributes. Hey, that's not bad.
you only count 3 fish in the pond.
Is the like super fancy one there still?
No, super fancy one is not there.
Well, godfish. There's something going on with this fish. Puck, where is Even at the moment?
He is waking up, but he can be out if he wants to be.
Where is G-Pain? I lost myself.
You're here.
Oh, there I am. G-Pain seeing Puck walk by. What's going on?
Less fish.
Less fish.
And just continues.
And as he leaves, I scale the walls because I'm nervous.
You scale the walls? What does that
Yeah,
mean
like-
exactly?
Like I walk. I don't climb them. I walk towards the fountain, but I use the walls as my guide.
Okay. Toss me a perception check. It's going to be easier because you have a crude hint.
Look,
Oh, yeah. You also notice that there are only 3 fish. There were previously 4 in this fountain, and the alabaster white fish with the golden eyes is missing.
do I sense any spells that have been cast? Is that a thing?
I think detect magic can do stuff like that, but usually auras go away pretty fast unless they're like heinously powerful.
Okay, I can't roll a knowledge occultism on it.
No, it doesn't work like that. If you see a spell being cast that's an occult spell, I believe you can do that to identify it as being cast, but not for reading auras and stuff like that.
Okay, I just walk by the fountain, noticing that there's 3 fish, and just swipe at the water as I walk by, like a bored kid.
Okay. It's cool to the touch, but doesn't react in any weird, unexpected ways as you do. Okay, so Puck, you arrive at either he's getting ready or he's already out the door. I'm not sure which, but you find him.
Puck just kind of looks gravely at you and says, "Less fish."
You ate a fish? Oh,
Puck shakes his head. The white one. Seems
The golden one?
strange. He nods and sort of walks back towards the.
What color are Rosiki's eyes? Doesn't even remember.
Golden.
Huh. Probably better to be quiet.
Nods. What kind of juju's coming off that fountain?
What is it? You know whether the item is magical, and if it is, you learn the school of magic. Let me see. I should have my schools of magic memorized. It is transmutation magic in the center of the fountain that is moving the water.
All right. Yeah, I guess we'll just keep kind of wandering.
All right.
I'm gonna go. Now I'm getting curious. Where is what's her face? Is she in her bedroom right now?
Kirkee?
Yes.
Last you saw her, she walked into the bath.
Okay. We'll kind of go and start nosing a little bit. I mean, she never said not to go to these places.
She did not say to not go those places.
So I'll start nosing.
All right. So you find the same three doors as I said before, and then there's sconces on the wall.
What kind of peekery can we do through these doors without opening them? Anything? Keyhole? Any kind of goodies?
They don't appear to have any means of locking. They are just regular wooden doors. You can try to look under them, but you don't think you see a whole lot under the door.
All right.
If if Frankko sees Puck doing any of this, he might suggest like he'll look at the crack at the bottom of the door and be like, "You could fit under that, couldn't you?"
I don't know. I feel like that's probably a bit tight even for Puck.
I believe that is a stretch for squeezing. I was going to say, but I was wanting to see what Puck would say.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure squeezing is like one size smaller than you. But I'll look. I don't think he can limbo under that, if that's the question.
Yeah.
You can, if you are a master squeezer, you can get through somewhere barely fitting your head. So no, I doubt.
So still no.
Yeah. So still, even if you were a master squeezer, you could not limbo under that.
Yeah.
So we'll say Frankko would have said it somewhat like jokingly.
Yeah. Yeah.
and he continues to make his way along towards where whoever Even is. And when he gets close to Even, I'm going to presume that Even is holding Oryx's axe pretty closely or carefully, or just like taking good care of it. And so when Frankko sees that, he walks up to him, puts his arm around Even, and says, "The others that we were shipwrecked with, we should spend the day finding them. Do you think we should let her know? Maybe she can help. Maybe her animals can help."
Puck will
we
open
lo-
the
Yeah, I'm wondering if
door.
Naz is frozen there.
It looks like he is
I
for
think
me
he
too.
is.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
for a moment he was just thinking, but apparently I think he's frozen. Bijo's in the house, everybody. By the way, hey Bijo, I'm gonna text Naz.
Joe.
He says the internet is doing something in Discord. Yeah, he's dropping. All right. So put a pin in that. And Puck, are you doing anything on those doors?
Yeah, I'm gonna open. Not in the hallway ones, but I am gonna open this one that
Okay.
was next to the guest bedroom.
Yeah. That is a dining room, presumably where you will have breakfast.
Nice. All right.
I'll move you inside so you can see all the side things and whatnot. But yeah, and there's a door to the kitchen.
All right.
All right. You want to do anything
That all
else that
appears
doesn't require you?
seems above board.
It's a dining room, all right.
Yeah. Man, I want to do something else with this area, but I don't know what to do with it. I've already done all the ill-advised things, like touching it, and maybe I should drink a little.
You can, if you wish.
No,
There might
I
be
don't
fish
think
poop
so.
in the water.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, it's gross koi pond.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a knife sharpener you can use to get those shears back up in good shape.
Yeah, there you go.
There might be. I'm not sure if they keep that in the kitchen, but of all the rooms in the house, I think the kitchen would be the most logical place for that to exist if it does. So if you want to go in the kitchen and look for a place to sharpen your shears.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds good.
And Rosixi is in there. And now that it's basically almost time for people to wake up, like I think Squirrel's going to wake up within the hour, she's essentially begun preparing the actual breakfast. You're having crab and eggs and potatoes and some vegetables, and she hasn't decided if she's going to put gimbleberries out or not.
Just last minute added in. It's one of the mandatory ingredients of the night, of the day.
It's going to be a breakfast. She wasn't planning on a breakfast, but based on the way people are sleeping, she's now scrambling to make this a breakfast. Literally scrambling.
Crab omelets. You're good to go.
Yeah, with pancakes and gimbleberry sauce. Dern. G-Pain will, he didn't get a chance to tell Kirkee about the gimbleberries, and so when he passes her in the hall at some point in the morning, he'll bring it up to her and do his best gimbleberry pitch to her.
She hasn't come out yet, but you're prepping the pitch for.
Just wait outside the door.
Yeah, no, he's practicing the pitch and not waiting outside the door, but sort of pacing around the door.
Okay.
If Frankko sees the gnome walking back and forth with like plates and preparations and stuff,
yep,
he would go over and kind of just like quietly offer to help. If not, like basically like put out his hands to grab some of the plates from her to start moving them over.
Yeah, certainly. She will accept any help you have. So you do see it. In addition to cooking, she is setting the tables in the dining room. And roll a d20, or if you have any skills related to knowing how to set up a fancy person's table. to see if she has to correct you.
Whoa.
Coming in hot.
He's coming in hot, baby.
Yeah. So you have the basics down and you're helping her set up, but like you put the fork in the wrong spot and she gently corrects you. But yeah, she's very appreciative to have the help, and you do an okay job of setting up for breakfast. And Nas, I know you got a screaming baby in your lap, but Frankko was trying to RP with you earlier when you were lagging. So you want to catch him back up, Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, basically, Frankko goes and tries to like comfort even a little bit, and basically suggest that like, hey, today's going to be an important day to find the rest of the crew, and like maybe we can ask Kirkee to help us, and like maybe she can use her animals or whatever to help us. It'd be better if we found them first than them find us. They won't know that this place is good necessarily. So really, Frankko's just trying to assess like, is even comfortable talking to Kirkee about this or not? Because Frankko doesn't want to just like do it and piss even off. But sounds like he can't hear us.
Yeah, I saw the headphones. I think he was on open air. He could hear us. He doesn't want to.
I can hear you. So you're asking whether Even's cool with you talking to Kirkee about,
like, hey, like basically like let her know that there are others and that we want to find them, and like will she help us basically, or does he even want to keep that secret? Would he be worried about her knowing that?
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Cool. So yeah, in the meantime, basically Frankko will just help the gnome and kind of like be a good guest and start to try to win favor.
Well, yeah, again, you do a passable job, and the gnome corrects you when you need correcting, but she's very appreciative for the help. And the sun is officially arisen, and Squirrel, you have rested. Kapow. And everybody's awake. And everybody can throw me a perception check.
All of her food turns into little monsters
They all turn into gimbleberries. It's all gimbleberries.
all day.
All day. Yeah, everybody. Did even not roll? Yeah, you're busy. Do you want me to roll for you? But you got it. Jeff is watching and says, "You're far too nice for goblins. You're setting tables." This is not what he said. Fumbar would not be doing this.
Pamar.
So everybody that's rolled, and even I'm not sure that you have, but can you find yourself? You're over here on the bed, I think, still.
Some of us blend in really well. Right?
Yeah, tokens do. A lot of people use like the portrait tokens with the circles around them. I think those are a lot easier to see, but I like the top-down stuff.
Yeah.
Like actually.
Feels like I'm in the room.
All right, I'm gonna roll for you, even.
I'm doing it. It's not rolling. I don't know why.
Okay. We'll look into that in a second. You roll 17. So everybody does notice, as you're milling about in the courtyard all awake, that Kirkee comes out of the bath. She was apparently in there for hours. And she wanders about through the courtyard. She plays with some small animals that are in the way. It's like some birds fly over to her, and she kneels down and touches a chipmunk. And then she goes over to the graying lion, and she rubs his back from top to bottom to kind of wake him up. And you watch as he does the whole cat yawn clawing thing and wakes up.
Did we eat already? What did I miss one?
You are not eating. No, eating is about to happen.
Okay.
It is morning now, and Frankko's at the table with the gnome.
Nice.
And Kirkee is going into the room and sitting down at the head of the table, and the gnome is bringing out the food. And as she passes everybody, she gestures to the dining room and says, please join us for breakfast. Even brought crabs.
G-Pain runs to get a seat beside her and begins talking to her about Gimbal Bears.
just
And so
right off the bat, no warm up. Just
no, he sees that Squirrel was about to sit beside her, and so he runs around the table behind her like a little mischievous goblin, and hops in the chair. And I'm sure it's a huge chair for him.
yeah, so they're
Bring-
human size. Yeah, that's true.
Brings it up and like really tries to muster up, and is like, "Kirkee, have you heard of the Gimbleberries?" And he launches into his whole thing. Do you want a diplomacy check?
I guess. I don't. So what exactly is your pitch?
More or less, he's trying to make nice with her, become friends, share common interests.
Specifically, Gimbleberries.
Specifically, yeah, trading. If she's into trading, he is trying to get an idea if she's into that.
Even know how to get off the island and back again.
Listen, you don't need to get off.
That's
You
a
can
secondary
pre-sell these-
concern.
Yeah. This is not what I came. I came here to get lost on islands, my friend.
Have trade routes you have no idea how to do.
Yeah,
Planting the seeds.
I'm planting the seeds of
My
trade
descendants will come back for this.
Joe, what was the chef's name?
Rosixi, Rosixi.
So even will sit down and say Rosixi isn't eating.
And Kirkee shakes her head. No, that would not be. And she looks at you as if you understand.
Oh,
And where's Frankko? Why is Frankko?
I dragged him into the room. Is he sitting on somebody or? Yeah, he was sitting on Squirrel. Yeah, so you go ahead and pick your seats. But yeah, so Rosixi sets the table, and it is clear that she will not be joining you for the meal. And when the table is all set and the food is all out, she's going to return to the kitchen and she'll close the door behind her.
If the food's out, T-Pain will.
Wait. So Squirrel looks at Puck and like, hey, can you make sure there's nothing magical about this food?
Sure. What up with that crab? What up with that crab omelet?
And just so you're aware, like this is actually casting spells. You don't just squint real hard and know things. You are casting a spell at the breakfast table.
While even
I think that's on brand.
Old goblin tradition.
Yeah.
That's how we say grace.
Are you
Cast
passing
its
it off
spell.
as an old goblin tradition?
I'm gonna try. Yeah.
Okay, so make a deception check.
I don't know anything about it.
Puck, yeah. It's a completely straight. Like, I don't know.
Well, so you're doing it, and
We're
Squirrel is lying
like,
on your
yeah,
behalf.
and the hair is like, yeah, doing its thing.
The hair, yes. The hair.
Deception, just that like Squirrel might nudge. I only have a +3.
That's probably one of the better roles in the group.
Can I help him?
Well, if Mendax was here, Mendax would be your boy.
I have a +8.
You have a +8 deception? What the frick?
Yeah.
How the hell did you do that?
I don't know, but that's what my number says.
Fine.
Okay, yeah, so Squirrel's like, tell her.
I'll help you out if you roll poorly.
Are you Oh,
Well, wait, no. She can't be like, well, you're lying. How about you tell me that? No, that's the truth.
and so she is looking intently at Puck as Puck is picking up part of the crab omelet and saying occult words and waving his hands around.
Speaking in tongues.
And you guys are doing what?
No. The Squirrel's looking at D-Pain, right?
I'm like, yeah. You know that the goblin.
Oh, Jesus.
Very hero point.
while he's doing that, even is dishing up and already eating and passing.
Oh my God.
T-Pain was gonna start eating until that guy was like, yeah, let's cast this spell on this.
Well, yeah, so even shoveling it in, he's going back for seconds. And yeah, so she's looking at you. You can use a hero point to reroll that if you want. That is something.
I don't have any hero points.
Everybody starts
You
with
get
one.
one, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, 100%.
And I didn't note it at the beginning, but anybody who did a write-up during the thing gets a bonus hero point. So I know that Squirrel did one very recently. I feel like there were more during.
Nas, yeah, I think.
yeah.
Was that it? Just you two?
And I think Bijo did one.
Well, BJ will
maybe.
get one when he comes back. Next time he plays,
Okay.
I'll have him carry over. But yeah, so you guys have double extra hero points. But yes, if you want, you can use your 1 hero point you have on this
To reroll or add a bonus? What
to
does it have?
re-roll in this game. It's only re-rolls and only to save your life.
Okay, not bad.
Okay, so and what are you lying about? What do you say, G-Pain?
I'm like, yeah. It's like a West Coast goblin thing. It's important for them to pay homage to the occult gods, and he like stumbles and picks it up and stumbles and picks it up.
And toss me a perception check, G-Pain.
Okie dokie.
You can plainly tell that she knows you're lying. Like as you
What?
say it, she looks at you and her face like contorts in a way that she's well aware of what he's doing and doesn't understand why you would lie about it.
Well, once I noticed that,
Yeah,
I just
Puck
I-
just
I-
kind
I-
of looks at you and then snorts and continues.
once I notice that she knows, I just start eating. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. And I just start putting it on and like starting to eat and things.
Yeah, well,
I give up.
It would be rude not to at this point.
Puck did cast the spell, even though we just bullshitted all over it, right? Like,
Yeah, what's
the
it-
roll for the spell?
That determines if it is a magical omelet, and if it is a magical omelet, the nature of the magic upon it.
It is not a magical omelet.
Boo! I demand magical food.
Yeah, I only eat magical food.
Yeah, so you do not have a magical omelet. So you cast your read aura spell. You detect no magical auras in the omelet. And as you finish, Puck, and you put the crab down,
Mhm.
she looks at you and she is very interested in you. Like she hasn't even so much as glanced at anybody else ever since you started casting your spell. And she says, "Is it to your liking?"
Puck nods. He says, "Much here is not as it seems."
Oh, what do you mean?
He says, "The lion's hair speaks of great power."
And she sits back in her seat, ignoring her food for the moment. His hair speaks.
It has shown us a great destiny.
Yours?
It is not known.
Mm. And she gestures towards G-Pain without looking at him. He says that you speak of fate and destiny often.
We speak of the hair beyond.
And she looks at your singular, long, like foot-long, glowing hair.
We are but an extension. He says, seeing her, observing it.
Yeah. She says, that's so interesting. And she looks back at you, G-Pain, and she says, well, so tell me of this ritual, with a smirk on her face, or whatever, this West Coast goblin ritual.
He's in the middle of eating, looking down. He's like, "What?"
And again, you're certain she knows you're lying, and now she's just kind of twisting your arm for laughs.
It's something that people do sometimes. What about the gimbleberries? And he tries to change the subject. Did they make it out?
There are a bowl of gimbleberries on the table. Each person was not presented with one. She just basically put them in a bowl and put them on the center of the table.
He grabs them over and begins having some, forces some on Puck, casually puts them in front of her.
These are the berries you speak of?
Yes, these are the berries of my nation.
And she takes one and she does the same sort of thing where she squeezes a little bit of the juice out and she tastes it. And she says, what is remarkable of them? Why do your people sell them?
Well, we also sell fish, but they don't travel well. And to be honest, I was just sent out on this journey to trade for my nation, and this is what they sent me with. So this is what I got.
What salesmanship? I got nothing else.
She rolls it around in her hand for a little bit and then produces the pit or the seed of the berry. And she says, "Could I not plant this?"
100%. I hadn't thought about that. And he seems very intrigued by her. It's like, where are you going to plant it?
She gestures broadly to the fertile land you've been walking through.
The fertile druid expanse.
So picking up on this, Frankko slips a bit into salesman mode, or he at least acts that way, and says, but is not it an invasive species?"
Perhaps. What do you know of this? She turns to Frankko for the first time in the
Well,
conversation.
basically, no, Frankko was kind of like nudging G-Pain. Like, is it not an invasive species? Might it not ruin the ecosystem of this unsoiled land?
And he says, probably not, but also they're really tasty. And he eats one. He's like, so good.
You're the best salesman I've ever seen in my life.
G-Pain is still kind of hurt that the little tiny fish gnome woman didn't give a crap about them, and they didn't make it to the bowl. So he's kind of already deflated at this pitch, but he's seeing that Frankko is pushing him along. He kind of perks up. He's like, yeah, really, really good.
I'm having vision of that Simpson salesman who's so terrible.
Gil.
Gil.
Oh man,
Yeah.
what a reference.
I guess the good plan.
And he pulls his tie around.
So she plays along with you for a little bit, but you can tell she's completely uninterested in any idea of selling or trading these berries. And she believes that if she wanted them, which she doesn't even seem to want, she could plant them somewhere here and be growing her own berries. But she plays along with you. If you seem excited about it, she seems interested in at least talking with you about it to kind of get you talking.
He gets excited about it, and if he does notice at some point that she's personally not interested, he begins to. He still talks about it. Still talks about his home. Tries to it's like one of those tourism commercials, but continues to try to probe about where towns are, where people are, how far they are, which direction they are, which way to sail, that kind of thing. Since he's a sailor, he begins to ask more water current based questions.
When you ask about towns and people, she assures you that she is the only villa on this island. That you will find no one here but me and my servants, and the myriad of animals on this island.
Do you think people could have shipwrecked elsewhere?
On other islands?
Yeah, how many islands are around here? Nearby.
A handful. She says within several days there are maybe 4 islands, and the wandering one is due soon.
So this is probably the point at which Frankko would sense his window, and say, well, as it turns out, our boat was a lot more full than just our crew here, and while we've been seeking shelter, we've also been hoping to find the others that were with us. I hate to impose upon you, but I'm wondering if there's a way that you could help us, or I don't know. There are others, and we don't even know if they're alive.
Oh, have you searched for them at all, or you just? And she remembers that you mentioned that you just washed up yesterday. Of course. Did you see any indications of them on the beach?
We found this, and even will produce Oryx axe.
And this is theirs?
It belonged to my friend.
Could it not have washed up independently of him?
I don't think it would float.
She nods. It's a fair point. And she says,
We did try to get their attention a little bit, but we also knew we needed to find water, so we did that. And now, having having satiated our thirst and having gotten some rest, we feel like it's important to do what we can to find them.
Of course. I may be able to help. I could use some of my animal friends to search the island for you.
There's a wandering island?
Yeah, what was that about?
She turns to you and says, "Yes." And she says it plainly as if people know about it, but she realizes again, you're new here. So, yes, the wandering island with the tower.
Who makes it wander?
She looks at you confused for a moment and says, "Because it comes and goes. It once every 20 or so days it appears on the horizon and then goes."
When was the last time it came?
About 28 days ago.
Yeah, but yeah.
Listen,
He wants to ask if it's a turtle island, but I don't know if G-Pain would know that. And I look puzzled, and I look at Even.
This island, does it travel in the same way as the Fae?
Shakes her head. No, it glides on the water.
And you,
Anyone know anything about this? Is there a knowledge check for that?
never heard of it.
You can make knowledge nature checks or knowledge sailing lore, I guess, is a good one, because you guys are sailing.
Wow, there's an island I might know about.
I think it's in the water.
You're pretty sure. Squirrel has no
Pretty sure
idea
the
what this
islands are surrounded by water.
Yep, it's got that going. G-Pain, your hunch was not, your player hunch was not totally off with what your character hunch is. You know that there are rather large turtles that
Okay.
can be construed as islands, but they're not super big. But yeah, you
Oh,
believe that they could be.
We
seen
lost
as-
Jeff.
Hopefully
Yeah, we
his-
did.
his fly didn't die on him, or I don't know if his laptop was on battery out there.
The hurricane.
He said he was plugged in, I think.
Okay.
It's probably like a tripped GFC because it's in Florida, though.
I
and
saw the
everything is
lights
moist
go.
all the time.
Yeah. I
Oh,
saw
no,
the lights
really?
flicker once or twice too, so yeah, maybe that's it. But yeah, so G-Pain, your hunch wasn't completely off base. You believe that it could be a large turtle type island. And-
Is that? Do you think it's one of them turtle islands? Or sorry, is it one of those turtle islands?
She shrugs, says, "I've never been."
I've heard about them. Maybe I don't think I've seen them.
She shrugs, like almost uninterested. Like, this is just a boring thing that happens once every month. Like, yeah, I've never been to that wandering island.
Okay.
And she says, you were asking about other islands and stuff.
Yeah, nearby other islands.
Talk about the wandering island, and she says if you sail several days to the north, there is a large island, but you won't find any people there. It's filled with large reptilian beasts.
Are there any ships docked at the island? At
This island?
This island.
No.
Do you have?
There is no dock that you saw, at least in the areas you saw on the beach you looked at. You didn't walk very far down it, but you didn't see any indication of a dock or anything like that.
And what about moving between the spaces? How would we do that?
Is that Squirrel asking her?
Yeah.
She says, "I don't know. I cannot do that."
Oh,
And she looks towards G-Pain and says, "He seems to know something about it. He can pull through them, at the least."
Ah.
I
You're
can
not-
pull.
You're not thinking like a scavenger. There's wrecks everywhere. We make a raft.
How long? I was going to ask you, Joe. How long does G-Pain think it'll take to make a raft? Is that a sailing skill or is that a crafting skill?
I would do sailing lore would augment craft checks. So yes, basically, do you know how to build a boat and then physically building it?
I do not know how to build a boat.
Well, you have sailing lore, don't you?
Yeah.
And I know that Mendax has it, and also Frankko has it. I'm gonna roll it for Frankko.
Oh, Frankko, yeah. Frankko.
Yeah, Frankko thinks that depending on the type of boat you want, if you just wanted like a very simple, like even said a raft, you could build within a day. If you wanted to build a slightly more advanced sailing boat, Frankko believes he's capable of doing it, but it would take a little bit longer, maybe a couple days. But you believe you could have, with the wrecks you saw, you believe there's enough pieces of ship and enough wood on the island to kind of cobble them together into something that would float and would have sails.
G-Pain will back and forth with Frankko about like the details of the boat. They basically start sketching out a boat.
Yep, and Frankko seems far more knowledgeable about it than you do. But yeah, he's like, you know, when you suggest things, he kind of makes it real. You're like, yeah, and it would have to have this, right? And he's like, yeah, of course, yeah, and he starts begins sketching it out. Yeah, but between the two of you, you do believe that you could craft a boat, and it might take you a couple of days finding the pieces of the wrecks that are salvageable and things like that, but you could create a small sailing boat. So Kirkee watches the two goblins talking about boats, and she turns away from them to let them go do it. And she's talked to G-Pain a bunch. She's talked to Puck a little bit. So she'll turn to Even, who's just, I guess, housing eggs and crab. And
As one does.
And you've got like legit shark teeth, right? You've got like multiple rows of teeth. Yeah, so that's interesting to her. So as you're munching and she gets a good glimpse of your mouth, she says, "You are not like the others." And she doesn't touch, but she raises her fingers as if like flicking through your teeth as if they were like index cards in a card catalog. Back, you know, those things that exist in libraries and these for all the young viewers
Dating
out
yourself.
there.
Dating yourself.
Like she gestures like that as if she was like flicking the rows of your teeth, but doesn't touch them.
And even just
Yeah, and she definitely gets in, and she's like, "That is amazing." And she looks at the others and sees that they have no deformities of this kind. And she says, "Are you unique among your people? Do you all have things like this?" And she glances at everybody else to confirm or deny, do you have weird physical stuff?
every tribe is different. My tribe had many people like this. His tribe, and he points to Puck, are probably all squeezers. His tribe.
Squeezers? And he looks at you, Puck.
The hair
His
has
bones
shown few of us the way.
His bones are soft.
Ah.
He'll squeeze.
Ah.
His people are tree people, some with tails.
And Squirrel doesn't have a tail, does he?
No.
She looks looking for one and it looks a little dejected to not find one. She says, interesting, and I've never met any of your kind before. How many tribes are there?
A few major groups, but many smaller tribes.
Interesting. She looks you all over, assessing the unique things that your different peoples could do. And she looks at you, Squirrel. And how are you eating? How are you handling yourself?
I mean, mostly since there don't seem to be any ill effects, Squirrel would have been the last one to start eating, but especially with Even going to town so quickly, he would have gotten comfortable with eating it. But otherwise, just kind of cautiously observing.
Okay. So she takes you in for a moment, watches you eat, and sees you eating cautiously, and cracks another joke at your name's expense. And says, "Shall you be saving some in your cheeks then, as you leave? Look for your friends."
And again, Squirrel laughs nervously. No, but we squirrels are cautious. Are there dangerous things on this island?
She gestures out the doorway towards the lion that you can see from where you are, Squirrel. You can see it kind of just laying out there. And she says, "There are predators and, those that would seek prey, yes. And you seem to know your way around the forest, yeah?"
Indeed. I've been through quite a few different ones, but yours is unique.
She nods and says, Indeed it is. There are many things out there, but most can be reasoned with, placated, calmed.
And how... You've hosted other people, yes, at your place here?
In the past, yes.
How did they get off this? How did they get off this island?
She says they fly, sail, or move between the spaces.
Okay, and then Squirrel takes a long pause, and then asks, "What happened to the fish?
What fish?
The fish in the pond out front, the one with the alabaster eyes."
Gold eyes, alabaster body.
Sorry, gold eyes, alabaster body.
What do you mean?
It was there when we came, but it's missing now.
She stands up and begins walking over to the fountain.
Are we supposed to follow her?
I mean, if you want, that's really up to you.
Sure.
Well, I think Squirrel's curious enough that he would get up.
Yeah, Puck will follow behind.
She
also.
like, she pushes her chair out abruptly and walks over to the fountain. And she gestures to the pond, and you see the alabaster fish with gold eyes is in the water.
Puck will kind of sidle over and look in the kitchen.
Yeah. Do we see the gnome?
Puck does not see the gnome.
And Squirrel asks, "The food is delicious," or says, "The food is delicious. Could I give my compliments to your... What was her name?
Rosixi.
Yes.
Can sure. She's
meal?
likely in her chambers, or as she wills. They're free to wander about after their work is done.
All right. Well, Squirrel, not wanting to press it too much, just lets it go.
Okay, well, she's going to go finish her crab. And when she gets back, she says, "You scared me for a moment. That fish is a marvelous specimen."
How long have you had it?
I can't remember. Years.
How big is it?
It's fairly large. I don't know how big koi fish are generally, but it is large for a koi fish.
So even approximates an age off the top of his head. That size, 14, 15 years?
Sure. Again, I don't know if a koi fish to answer correctly, but
Right,
yes,
you know.
yeah. But assuming even knows about these things, I'll go with yeah. You're in the right ballpark. And she says, I suppose it's been that long. And she says, time flies. It's not much goes on here. This is the most interesting that happened to me, and I can't remember how long. She gestures to you being here.
And how long have you been here?
And she looks at you and stares into your blue glowing eyes. It just says, far too long.
Oh boy.
Combat music.
You can't leave?
She looks
Hey,
at you
we best be
even.
going now to start building that ship.
Oh, see you later.
And
And,
she
you let us know if your animals find anything, right?
she turns to you, Squirrel, and says, "Yes, of course. I shall whisper to the birds and see if they can find anything for you." And even you asked if she can't leave, and she says, "I cannot fly or sail or move between the spaces."
But why not? You could come on the ship with us. Why can't you sail?
And she looks off to the side for a moment, says it. it would not be possible.
Well, at least you're comfortable.
She nods. I am well taken care of. There is much here. An
You
abundance.
bound here? And G-Pain rudely looks up, rudely interjects and says, "Are you bound here?"
And with such a direct question, she simply answers, "Yes."
Do you need help getting off? We're a pretty handy bunch.
she laughs, and she says, "I don't think you're capable of that."
Maybe not. Maybe not today.
Yeah, you're intriguing her.
Maybe someday.
And she turns back to Squirrel and says that I will whisper to the birds as soon as breakfast is over, and they shall cover the island quickly.
Okay, well, we'll probably be on our way down to the shore making a ship. So you let us know.
If
Can
we
we get-
go,
Warning that you're coming.
Fair.
would we be allowed to return?
Well, of course. And she says, "My villa is open to all, man and beast."
Can we borrow some supplies?
Because I don't have much in the way of supplies. I have provisions to spare, but what else? What are you looking for?
What do we need to build the ship?
Yeah, ropes, sails, or clothes, taut clothing,
Hammers and nails.
hammers and nails. And my friend over here likes hammers and nails.
Yeah, she's got some of it. She doesn't have a whole lot, but she has enough that you believe you can rig up a basic sailing ship.
I promise to send an emissary from Zio someday. Diplomat, not emissary. Diplomat from Zio one day to repay you for the favor.
And she laughs again, not believing anything you've just said is true. She believes you believe it, but she believes.
I'm genuinely true. I'm genuinely honest.
Yeah, you're not lying to her, but again, she has no interest in what you're saying, and it's laughable that you would think the things you're thinking. So again, she mostly just laughs to humor you. And I see that we've lost Frankko for the night, I think.
Yeah.
his
So I
internet
think we'll
exploded.
just call it there. I don't want to do too much more without him, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, so Kirkee will go and send her
Yeah,
birds.
quickly, Puck would ask
Okay.
her where she met the lion. Where did she?
The watering hole.
Wait, this lion lived on the island before you?
He is more.
She shakes her head. I don't know.
So confused about everything.
Puck looks at her and says that he's more than he seems.
He is quite powerful, and I've seen something in his eyes. I agree.
I sense you too are more than you seem.
I believe we are all more or less than we seem to others.
May I cut your hair?
Make it sounds like a diplomacy check.
Oh my God! Can I help him in any way? I really hope she agrees. I don't
That's
even
going to
try
be
to
the
help.
hero point for the evening.
Yeah, I guess. Again, we didn't.
I was hoping, I wanted to save it for the actual haircut. But
All right.
Hey,
Nice.
That's pretty good. She has very nice hair. And with a 19, that doesn't budge her too much. Budges her a little though. And seeing the amazing job you did on the
I mean, yeah, the lion looks great.
the lion looks great.
I know I'm always tempted to have my dog groomer cut my hair. So.
I do think that. she, in return, asks for a clip of yours.
Whoa.
She will allow you for a clip of yours.
Oh, this is interesting now.
Yeah. Puck nods and snips about an inch of the weird floaty hair off.
All right.
It just kind of floats in the air, and then it regrows itself.
Fantastic. Does the clipped bit still glow?
That's a great question.
You understand your weird oracular mystery more than I do.
Yes. And I mean, I'd like to say yes, but I don't know if I have any fact to. But then again, I mean, we're all right.
Well, I'm letting you say what you want.
You defer to my to my hair expertise. Very good. Yes,
okay,
it's definitely still kind of ethereal and floaty and weird.
It could dim over time if you find out it's not supposed to.
If it's not what you want, you can change it.
Yeah.
And yeah, Puck takes a lock of her hair and braids it and puts it in the same pouch with the green hair and the lion hair.
Yeah.
It's separate from the big general braid.
The rope,
hair of
the
destiny.
legit rope of hair.
Yeah.
And when you hand her your glowing hair, she takes it and she looks upon it almost in awe. Like she's genuinely stunned that you would have agreed to this and that she now has it in her possession. And she cups it gently as she lets you cut her hair. And then as soon as you're done, she wants to leave to preserve it, basically to take it, to keep it safe.
Keep it secret.
So after you finish, again, she lets you cut, whatever, a little braid out of it, and she says, "Excuse me," and she runs to her bedroom to keep it safe in her desk. All right. So like I said, we're gonna call it here. But does anybody else want to do anything? I mean, we've got like 20 minutes, but Frankko is out, so I'm not gonna have you wandering beaches and stuff.
Well, a squirrel would definitely like to go see. To check the pond and then check the quarters for the chef.
Sure. All right. So
Even would spend some time
you could assume
describing-
like while I'm keeping her busy with the haircut, you guys can go snoop around.
Right.
Even would spend some time describing Auric to her.
Okay.
So that if he shows up, to let her know that he was here.
All right. And for those of you playing at home, this is Auric.
Do we still have viewers?
I don't know. Bijo and Jeff were here. Yeah, we got viewers.
Wow. Viewers.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. It looks like we actually have like 5 different viewers, surprisingly.
Oh, we love
Hey,
you
how
guys.
doing? They're sticking around. So for those playing home, this is Auric. He is a dwarf that is in Evan's backstory. He's one of his best buds. Sticks up for him because we're all goblins here and we get shit on sometimes.
Very possibly dead now.
I mean, his axe is. They found his axe. It's not a whole thing. It's a whole thing. So yeah. So you describe Auric to her, to Kirkee, and Kirkee, as basically she walks in the room. She puts the hair in a safe spot. She comes back out and is talking to you. And again, her goal is to go talk to some birds to kind of scour the island for you. And then while that's happening, Squirrel, you're walking up there.
Yeah, I don't know which door is hers. I guess I would just knock and be like, "Chef Gnome lady."
No one
I
answers.
just can't remember the
Rosixi. Rosixi. Or 6E.
Rosixi.
Rosixi.
Yeah, but Squirrel would probably forget that too.
That's-
So,
Yeah. So
Chef Gnome lady.
you knock and there is no answer.
I've knocked on all the doors.
Well, I was saying the one you're in front of, but
Right, I want to try them all since I don't know.
there is no answer at any of them.
What the? Okay, and Squirrel's gonna go back and scan the pond again. And is it 4 fish still?
Yes, there are 4 fish.
I don't know. I think Squirrel would go back and be like, guys, I don't know about these fish. I don't want to become one, so I really think we should get going. We can leave it there.
All right. Anybody else doing anything? No. All right, we'll call it here then. So, any MVP nominations?
I like G-Pain's salesmanship.
Or lack thereof. I really
Yeah.
love when Frankko jumped in to help him, and he's like, "No, that's not the right. Isn't it an invasive species? She couldn't plant those here, right? No, she totally could."
I thought Puck's haircutting and diplomacy was pretty interesting. He devoted to
the
the
hair
hair.
stuff was cool.
Yeah, thank you for the giving me some actual insight from the lion's haircut. That was kind of you.
I enjoyed it. All right. Anybody else nominations? Thought I heard another one in the background there that got talked over. No. You can do a.
I also the morning wake up song is also like it was pretty an excellent joint effort.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even was
I don't
even.
know.
I was jeeping.
Is Jeff on? He's not even on Discord. I was gonna ask him to vote too. I have 2 votes. Go ahead, send in your votes.
Oh damn it! I logged out.
Okay, you can say it out loud if you don't care.
I'm gonna say Puck.
All right. I think I need one more vote.
Yeah, G-Pain from me.
Then G-Pain is the winner.
Hooray!
Hooray, G-Pain, and your whisper songs.
No
Morals.
whisper son.
You'll be in a delicious base. Is even said that. I need to take a minute to find a picture of a good lion haircut. G-Pain said, I whisper sweet songs in his ear. Even, fuck off. Kirkee says, could I plant this? G-Pain, I hadn't thought of that. There's already 4 votes on that one.
Yeah.
And like a card catalog, which is a thing that used to be in a library.
I was really surprised by that, and so was jeeping.
What, the seeds?
Yeah, no, I mean everyone's just thinking about eating them.
He's a very smart person.
Yeah, very
You
smart.
should
person.
talk to her for extended periods of time. You should hang out on the island for.
Have her help you with your sales pitch.
All right, so that is the moral. Could I plant this? I hadn't thought of that. Is the moral. And like I said, G-Pain's the MVP. So thanks for playing, everybody. Thanks for watching. The surprisingly large number of people who are still here. I think I got a subscriber in the middle, but I didn't thank them for subscribing, so I feel like an ass. But hey, thanks. Thanks now if you're still on. Do I have a list of who did? It was Jeff. It's lethargic Keith.
Everyone
Thanks for
else
subscribing, Jeff.
Hit that like button.
You just lived it up.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff. So yeah, thanks for playing. I had a great time, and see y'all next time. Bye.
Leave a comment in the doobly-doo.
Leave a comment in the doobly-doo. Hit that like button. If you don't like it, hit the dislike button twice. Follow. I am begging for followers on Twitch. That at this point I'm just begging because I think I need 50 to do the thing I need, and I'm at like 30.
Give us 50.
Give me subscribers. Just keep subscribing, please. Thank you. Have a good night.
Nice.